Hello, and we're back with ZombieLand, the review, part two. And we were just at when they're driving to California. Crystal, you want to say some stuff about that? What were they doing? Okay, let me take it then. So while they're driving there, they stop by an Indian place. I guess you could say Indian reservation, and it's a store in there. And they start like breaking stuff and just letting loose, because they say like Tallahassee has this thing that you have to like really get it out of you so things don't drive you crazy. So on the drive, they learn and they kind of like become human again in the way that they're being able to talk to each other, talk to people that in the way that they haven't been able to talk to people in a long time about the little things, about stupid things like Hannah Montana and who Willie Nelson is, right? And the little girl is learning how to drive because obviously she needs to learn how to drive. I mean, no one gives a fuck. Everyone's dead, and for emergency reasons, that little girl better know how to haul some ass in that fucking caddy. Because if she's not, then it's gonna be over for her anyway. So then they decide to go into Hollywood, right?
Hollywood?
Yeah, Hollywood. And they go into like
Oh yeah.
they start strolling for some stars homes to visit in another attempt to find some Twinkies. And they go into who was it? Bill Murray's house.
Yeah,
Bill Murray's house, and they try to teach the little girl like stuff like who was Bill Murray, Ghostbusters.
that was the whole point when they were in there. They were only going, you go. That's the only thing you can hear. Ghostbusters song,
Yeah,
and
but
they were always and
it was the
what was
R and
it?
R
Washington.
time.
It was that what was his name? What?
Tallahassee,
No, the other one. The other one.
Columbus.
Columbus and that little girl. They went to a movie theater that was in the house, and they started watching the same movie. And it was so weird because right away Jessica just paused the movie and said, "You know, that man, um, Bill
Murray.
Murray,
Yeah.
um,
He was
he
in
did
Ghost.
a movie of Ghostbusters."
It's not fucking weird because obviously that's his like. I mean, that's the only one I know. I mean, I'm not a big Bill Murray fan, and I've only seen parts of Ghostbusters. That's the only one I thought of. So, and I thought, hey, that'll be cool. So they have some R&R time, and they finally get to be humans, like I said. Just talking about things, and Bill Murray comes out faking a zombie, which was really cool because it's like, oh shit, Bill Murray's in this movie. I mean, I didn't expect that, especially from a first-time director, and the fact that this was a failed TV pilot and all that other crap. I mean, it's really remarkable they even got Bill Murray. So Bill Murray comes out and they start like faking around like, don't cross the beams, trying to like they're busting a ghost and Wichita's like, oh, it's a Slimer. That was funny. And then he goes in to scare Columbus and of course being the bitch that he is, he shoots Bill Murray and he's like dying.
And then, but the most thing that really was funny about Bill Murray dying was this. This is the whole thing he was doing when he was dying.
He was like and he took forever to die and it was like they're laughing, oh, but it is sad, you know? And then like, toss his body out of the fucking mansion.
After they shoot a couple of
Yeah,
times.
they act like it's like a military thing, and they start shooting.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, and they like put on Purell after. And then Columbus and Wichita, almost kiss or whatever. And so she leaves because she's being all protective of her sister and stuff, and she doesn't want to trust anybody, and of course not lose anyone again. So they go into Pacific Playland, and they start playing on the rides, and guess what? The zombies
The
are
zombies
attracted
just
to the new
all they
way.
just came. It looked like a grand opening of the new the park. It was like they just all came. It was like kept going
All
and
over the
going.
place. So Wichita and Little Rock are desperately trying to get away, and guess what they try to do? They go into the blast off, which if you haven't seen any like variation of this ride, would be like you sit in this chair and then it pushes you up, right?
Yeah.
And up, and then it slowly brings you down. And it was suspenseful, right? Because you're like, oh my god, they're coming back down.
And then they were like going down slowly and slowly. And the more they would go down slowly, we're like, oh snap. Oh my gosh, they're gonna die. And of course, one just jumps on, and then
And
they
he
go,
like snaps in half.
then they just like really blast off. And then once they start, then they just came down, and you see that zombie like snap his half of his body off. I was like, and the other body flew, and the other body just went.
Yeah, like totally, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the whole time, you're thinking in the back of your head, if you've seen any other zombie movies or horror movies, someone has to die. Like, someone has to die, and you're thinking, no, no, no. Because personally, I'm a girl, and I'm like, damn, Wichita is so cool, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, no. And honestly, and then they come, right? Because, fucking, what's his name, Columbus, he's like, I'm going back for her, you know?
I know. And then he
Oh,
tried to be
no,
all bad.
we left out Tallahassee. His puppy that he said that he lost was actually his son, and that was so sad that he lost his son to the zombies, and that's why he's like killing them all, and he's so badass. And I was like, oh. And I have to point out Woody Harrelson, and he's so amazing in this movie, right? He's so funny, he's so cute, and he's so badass. And anyway, back to the the playland.
Yeah.
So they come, and then Woody Harrelson doing all this badass stuff, and then they saved them, and what do you call that? And then it's like he says, "Fuck this clown," and he kills the clown, Columbus,
Yeah.
and he
He
gets them
smashed his head into like
with the
juice
little
or
thing,
something.
with the little thing,
The
the hammer for like the test your strength sort of thing. Yeah, and basically what it's like, oh my god, really, and then they kiss or whatever, and then Tallahassee finally gets his Twinkie, but not before fucking Columbus
had
shoots
to
out,
shoot a door
shoots the door,
because he heard a noise, and once they open it,
the Twinkie box, and they're all scrunched up, and you're like,
and
oh
then
no,
what was his name? Tallahassee.
yeah,
Yeah, he just puts his hand in there, and he just brings them all out, like mashed up into his hand, and he looks so sad. And then of course the
and
Columbus guy had to be like, I'm sorry, do you want me
there
to
are
wait in
no
the car?
there are no words to express. And I'm like, damn, how does this movie have you caring about Twinkies so goddamn much? Now that's a good movie. If they can take a sponge cake and make you care about it as if it's a person. And then, Little Rock tosses him a Twinkie, he's like, you know? And
And then once he had it in his hand, it was like he was saying in his head, "Victory is mine now." Oh yes.
yeah, I got my Twinkie back.
And once he bites it, it's like, I got to taste it all.
Yeah. And honestly, this movie was great, and we're gonna go into why it's great in the next video in detail about the visuals, the score, and everything. And but I have to say that I mean, with the fact that this is such a simple story with the A and B, all we have to do is get from point A to point B. Not that much deepness, but there's so much more character development in the fucking actions they take instead of the words they say. And I love that about this movie because it makes you think, and it creates little stories like the Twinkie. Like you can just imagine, like maybe his son liked to eat Twinkies. Maybe that was his favorite thing. Or why Wichita and Little Rock ended up by themselves. And we're gonna go into that in the next video because we don't have time now. But believe me when I tell you, there's a lot of good shit about this movie. I hardly have anything bad to say about it. Do you have anything bad to say about it?
No.
No. This motherfuckers is a fucking kick-ass movie.
I always try to say like at least one bad thing about a movie, but it's like you can't say nothing bad about this movie. It's
No.
so great. That's so. It looks like
Literally had me like this at the end. I never wanted to cheer at the end of the
exactly.
movie, except for The Dark Knight when I saw it in theaters. It's like the heavens came down, and you don't understand unless you love movies like I do, or want to be a filmmaker, how it makes you feel to see something like this in the time, in this decade, and in this years that we've had such shit-tacular movies coming out. Wonderful. So here we go. We're gonna analyze it, and we're gonna dissect this bitch in part 3.